Gaffer, transfer deadline day, usually a very busy period for managers up and down the land. Any activity here at Field Mill, arrivals or departures?
There's going to be no arrivals today, but we've got Matty Bell. He's going to be going out on loan to Solihull Moors. But apart from that's the only incoming and outgoing.
Did you not feel it necessary to add to your squad at this stage?
I do, yeah. I'd still like to add to the squad. The players that we've been looking at that I want to bring in will be, through a loan. So we don't really have to jump in at this stage. We've got a week's grace, and then we can take players on loan. One of the players that I've been looking at has took a knock on his foot of late. So we've just got to sit and wait. But obviously, I'd love to strengthen the squad at this stage. But nothing's going to happen today.
Let's move on now to the big story of the day, and indeed this will be one of the biggest stories of the season. I understand that two clubs mainly are leading the race to try and sign young Tom Naylor, the centre half, one of which are a Premiership club. What details can you give us?
Well, we don't want to go into too much detail at this present time. What I can say is we turned down a bid from a Division 1 club. We've had a Premiership club that called me yesterday. They're very keen on Tom. They'd like to agree a fee with us and take him down for a week to have a look at him. It's in the infant stage at this minute, but we've also had some inquiries from other clubs. So, I would have thought that at some stage there'd be a lot more activity regarding Tom. But as at this minute, Tom's still a Mansfield Town player.
For want of a better phrase, is it a feeding frenzy at the minute?
I can see it start to be honest. Obviously, we don't want to lose our better players, and Tom comes into that category. But it's my job to do what's best for his football club. The stature of the clubs that have come in for Tom are excellent. What we don't want to do, we don't want to hold Tom back, but the club needs compensating accordingly. So we'll see what happens. Like I say, it's really, really early stages in any sort of negotiations at this minute. But I can see a feeding frenzy sort of like happening in the not too distant future.
How many clubs are after him? Serious clubs?
Well, if you're talking about serious clubs, I talk about clubs that have really stumped up and basically put the money where the mouth is. Sorry. We had a serious offer from a Division 1 club, and we've had a serious interest from a Premiership club. A couple of other inquiries from clubs ranging around the sort of Championship and Division 1, but it's only the two clubs that shown real interest at the Premiership club and the Division 1 club.
The bid from the League One club, was that rejected instantly?
Yes, it was. Yeah, like I say, we don't want to lose our best players, and if the club's not compensated accordingly, then we want to keep Tom. I think if I'm going to be honest, Tom will move on at some stage. And I think the whole of Mansfield will wish him all the best. But I've got to do my best for this football club and make sure that when our better players do move on to bigger things, that this club's compensated accordingly.
How hard will it be to keep him?
It'll be very hard. Everybody's ambitious. Everyone wants to do things at the highest level. Football clubs, league clubs are always looking for that diamond in the rough, which I think Tom is at the minute. He's at a non-league level now, but I'm sure the kid can play at a lot higher level. Like you say, if everything's done right, if the football clubs respect our view on it, and we're compensated accordingly, we can see something being done.
I don't expect you to put a price on his head, so to speak, but how highly do you value him?
He's a very good player, and I think as soon as he makes sort of 20 to 30 appearances in the Football League, his value in as a Football League player will rocket. So, like I say, we don't want to be greedy. I'm not looking at trying to stop the lad going into the Football League. We don't want to hold back anybody. And it is part and parcel of football that good players will come and be taken up the football ladder, up the football pyramid to league clubs. But my job now is just to make sure that if it's going to happen, that this club's compensated.
Could anything happen today?
I can't see anything happen today. No, not before the deadline finishes. From what I gather, the initial talks with the Premiership club are very, very in the early stages now. But I can see things developing over the next week.
If you can, Gaffer, just tell us where things stand with this Premiership club, because you say it's in the infancy stages, but where are talks actually at?
The talks actually at the minute are that the club would like to agree. I'm waiting for a phone call. The club would like to agree a fee and take the lad down for a week.
Would you be prepared to let him go down there?
Yeah, I don't see any problem with it. You know, when I've sold players into the Football League before, the arrangement I've had with the football clubs is that they can have them for a week. Now, if football clubs come back to us and say they can't make their mind up after a week, then there's something wrong. Tom's a good player, and if, like I say, a week's long enough for a football club to make up their mind whether he's good enough.
And what about the League One club who made the bid? You mentioned that earlier, of course. Have they come back with a revised bid?
No, they've not come back. Like I say, that the deal that was that they put through was we turned that down straight away. We value Tom a lot higher than that. So as far as I'm concerned, that's dead in the water.
You can't say how much that was?
No, I think it'd be unfair to be fair for everybody, for both clubs and for Tom. Especially at this delicate stage, we're talking to other football clubs. But no, it wasn't to our valuation, and like I say, we value Tom a lot higher than that.
Do you expect Tom Naylor to leave Field Mill in the near future?
That's a good question. When it comes to this sort of stage with negotiations, you usually expect someone to leave the football club. What I want to get across to supporters is we don't want our best players to leave this football club. We're trying to build something here, and Tom comes into that category. But it's part and parcel of football. And like I say, if a club comes up with the right sort of money for Tom, we've got to let Tom move on.
Tom isn't the type of boy to get carried away, but is it your job now to keep him grounded in the interim?
I've already had quite a few one-to-ones with Tom. He's not a lad that's going to get let this go to his head. But I still have to have the chat with him and make sure that when he's back from suspension, this doesn't affect his performances. I try to tell him that that football is all about his performances on the pitch, and that his value will go up or deteriorate on those performances. So I've had a little chat with him and tried to keep him on the right lines. But I don't think we'll have to do that with Tom. I think he's quite level-headed.
What does he make of this all?
I'm not too sure really, because he's, after telling him, I would have thought there's a million and one things going through his head. I think the lad wants to go and play in the Football League. I'm trying to think of a player at this level that doesn't want to. But I know that Tom has got an incredible amount of loyalty to Mansfield Town, and he sees what we're trying to do here. So I think Tom just wants the situation sorting out one way or the other, so he knows where his future lies.
And finally, do you now expect a bidding war?
I'm not too sure, to be honest. You see situations like this where one club comes in and then there's a host of clubs come in and start bidding for the lad. All I can go by is just the telephone calls I receive and then the club get. Like you say, if nothing happens, he's a Mansfield Town player and I'll be happy. If we get the right kind of money for the lad goes into the Football League, the football club comes out of it, with the right sort of money, and both parties are happy. So, like I say, it's early stages yet, but I think we'll know a little bit more in a week or so.
Paul Cox, thank you.
Thank you very much.